Hi Dragons, I'm back to do my part one of my February reading wrap up. I'll be honest, this month has sort of been a little bit inconvenient. I have been dealing with a pretty bad bronchitis and sinus infection, which has kind of affected me mostly in the last 2 weeks. Like I was out of work for a week and I wasn't feeling that great this week. But I have next week off and I hope to just take the next couple of days and relax, which if you know anything about me, it is really, really hard for me to do. I think I overdid it this week, which is probably why I'm, a little bit under the weather. But I do always want to go through my stats when I'm able. So I read 10 books in this month so far. I am not going to talk about one because it's a Wednesday books title, but I will probably film a clip for my vlog that will go up whenever the strike is over. So far I've read 2,782 pages, which is an average of 89 pages per day. That seems pretty accurate, I'll be honest. Average page count is 278. I did read some really, really short books. I read 3 mini novellas. I'll get to those in a little bit. No surprise, it's February. I've been picking up a lot of romance or romantasy. 3 books from Rep and from 8 authors that I read before. There was a project that I did where I read books for a vlog where you'll see that soon, where I read from authors' adult books when I read their YA books. I had 2 5-stars, 3 4-stars, 3 4-stars, and 1 2-star with an average rating of 3.6. I read 6 new releases, 3 backlists, and 1 from last year. I read 5 physical, 5 audio, and no mixed media, no ebooks. I started 1 series, I continued in 1 series, I completed 1 series, and I caught up with 1 series. I read 0 arcs, 1 from Audible, 3 from KU, and 6 owned, which is pretty good. I read 2 fantasy romance, 7 romance, and 1 graphic novel. So now let's get into the books. If there's any other stats you want to see me include, let me know. And now let's go talk about the books really, really quickly. The first book that I picked up for this month was The Foxglove King by Hannah Whitten. This edition is so pretty. And I'm really conflicted about this book. I'm gonna give it 4 stars, but I don't think the characters I felt that connected to. I thought it was an interesting premise. It sort of gave me Red Queen vibes because there is 2 brothers at the heart of this story. And I enjoyed it. I like the characters. I'm really excited to read The Hemlock Queen. But the characters in the story didn't make a big impression on me. So it was also very, very long. I think this book could have been a solid 300 pages or 350 pages. And I think it would have took away some of the slowness because it was a very, very slow paced story. But basically you follow this character named Lore, and she is in a cult in the catacombs. She's basically being used as a thief, and little does she know she has shadow magic. And she kind of she's running poisons for her stepmoms, and she kind of gets thrust into the St. King's Glittering Court, where she kind of has to get close to the actual prince to see what's going on. So it was an interesting story. I just wish it was paced a little bit better, and I felt the characters were interesting. I just didn't feel that connected to them. So that's why this book only got a 4-star. It was a little bit chunky. I've been trying to read more bigger books, but this one I slogged through a little bit at the start of the month. Sorry, I have everything on my computer and it keeps turning off. But I would like it if you like books like Red Queen that give you Red Queen vibes. If I had a pick, I would say Powerless won in the vlog I was doing this for, but I enjoyed this one. I also finally got around, Joss from Peace Love Books will be so happy. I finally got around to reading The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, and I like this book. I thought it was fun. I love seeing books in STEM societies and just unique settings, and basically you follow this character named Olive. I'm sure you know the plot. She winds up having to fake kissing this guy because her best friend wants to date someone that she was dating, and they kind of get tossed into this fake dating romance. I didn't really think of it as Raylo fan fiction, but I had a fun time. There's also a really strong plot about sexual harassment in this book, so if that's something that you struggle with, just going with that. But I really did like it. I want to read more by her. I know she has Bride coming out. I read her YA book, so I have all her other books, so I'm probably going to make a dent in them as we go through the month if I can. But I gave this 4 stars and it was a solid read. And then the next book that I read was an audiobook, and it is Ashes of You by Catherine Cowles. I will attach a photo here. The final book in the Lost and Found series by Catherine Cowles. This was Lost and Haley's book, and I love this book. I love book about found family. I love book about single dads. This also wrapped up the whole series, so it sort of like took all the characters and sort of put them in a different position. This book was very, very romantic suspense, and Haley is kind of forced to be the nanny for, well, not forced, but she wants to be the nanny for Lawson, who has 3 little boys, and you kind of deal with that. They also have a connection because Lawson saved Hallie from a serial killer many, many years in the past. So it was very, very compelling. The ending of this book, the shocking element, I did not see coming. So I was very, very surprised. I gave this book 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. I have loved all of Catherine Cowles' series that I've read like as they've been coming out. I need to go back and finish 2 of her oldest series. But if you're looking for a romance book with like a solid suspense plot, I would definitely check out Catherine Cowles. And again, thanks to Peace Love Books for recommending me, because I don't think I would ever picked up this series, but I really do like the characters. The heroes don't always work for me, I'll be honest, because I'm more of a cinnamon roll hero, but I do like them. They're fun. And the next book I picked up for a vlog. I was really good this month at doing my vlog projects. Not so good at following my actual TBR, but you know, you have months and you have months that work and months that don't. So I wound up picking up Kiss the Girl by Zerdaya Cordova. This is part of the Meant to Be series. I will say I was deep into my bronchitis when I was reading this, and I didn't love it. I struggled with it a little bit, I'll be very, very honest, and it wasn't my favorite book. It's an Ariel retelling. You follow this main character named Ariel, and she winds up, she's like a very, very popular singer, but her dad is kind of like convincing her to do things she doesn't want to do. She winds up running away and touring with this band as a t-shirt girl, and she winds up meeting Eric. It was fine. I just didn't like it. I didn't love it as much. I didn't feel that connected to the characters, and it was a retelling, and sometimes I feel like retellings are a bit predictable. I have seen other people do like the other books in the series. I have by the book, and I kind of learned this in this vlog. I know this about myself. I prefer to listen to romance just because I tend to get through them a bit quicker. So maybe if I listened to it, I would have liked it a bit more. But I gave it 2.5 stars, and I would read more in this series. I just might listen to them. And again, they're all companion. This was the Ariel retelling. There's a Beauty and the Beast one out. There's a Cinderella one out, and there's also a Tangled one coming out. So it worked for me. It just wasn't my favorite. So I listened to 3 of the audio original, like the Meet Cute rom-coms. I'm just going to attach all the photos here so you could see. The one by Ashley Passion, when I was called With Any Luck, and this one was like, was okay. It was definitely darker. Was this the darker one? Oh no, this was the one where like she was the bridesmaid at a wedding, and it's kind of like the convenient trope. Whoever she kisses always finds her next true love like the next day, which I've seen like 4 times in books. But it was like literally 40 pages. So this was like 40 pages. It was fun. I really like Ashley Pauston's writing style. I was impressed. But again, they're not like that captivating. You don't feel that connected to the characters. I gave this one 4 stars. If you're looking for something to listen in like 30 minutes, I would pick it up, and I do like Ashley Pauston's writing style. Then I picked up Abby Jimenez, which is Worst Wingman Ever. This one was darker than I thought because it has a main character who's a nurse for her grandmother who's dying in hospice. And she is, which hit really, really close to home to me when I was reading it. But then she winds up like, a guy winds up leaving something on her windshield that's not for her, it's for someone else, and they wind up getting into this back and forth relationship. It was really, really cute. I gave it 3 stars. Just darker than I thought, especially with the cancer theme, so know that going in because I wasn't expecting that. And then shockingly, my favorite one was Exception to the Rule by Christina Lauren. This one I gave was my favorite. It was 4 stars. It was also the longest. It was like 101 pages. I love this one. I thought it was great. It's another like You Got Mail retelling where like the characters accidentally email the wrong people, and they're talking for like 5 years, and then they get together, and then their paths wind up crossing in unexpected ways, and I really, really liked it. I thought that was cute. Definitely my favorite, and I gave this one 4 stars. So and then I also finished reading Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Oseman. I gave this book 4 stars. This book deals a lot with them like contemplating going away to college. It also deals with them and their first sexual experiences with each other, which I really was impressed with. And it's just a fun time. This was not my favorite in the series. Definitely later. Book 2 and 3 were much darker, but this one was just lighter and I liked it, and I'm excited to see where the final volume goes. And then the last book I finished for this wrap up, other than the book I'm not going to rate from St. Martin's Press, I gave that book 4 stars, by the way. You'll see it in a wrap up whenever I can post it. I finished Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon, and I gave this book 5 stars. I really like this book. There's nothing wrong with this book. It's just not like going to be on my best books of the year list, but it was a solid read. I always have a shelf in my room where I put all my best books of the year, which I think might make a list. This I don't think is going to make the list, but I did like it. This was part of that vlog, probably the most successful book in that vlog, where I read like books by adult YA authors that started to write adult, and it's about a TV meteorologist and a reporter's scheme to reunite their divorce process with unforecast romance in this electrifying romance. And it was a workplace romance, which I really liked. It had a single dad. It also has really, really solid anxiety and depression rep, which I liked, and I had a fun time. I really like this. I want to read more by this author in the adult sphere, but she also has YA books coming out as well. So yeah, I gave this book 5 stars. And yeah, that is all the books that I wound up reading in the first half of the month. I have a week off, so I'm going to try to relax and take it easy. Let me know in the comments what you're currently reading and what was your favorite book. If I had to pick my favorite book in this section, I would definitely say Ashes of You was my favorite and Weather Girl. Those are my 2 favorites. So let me know in the comments what you're currently reading. I would love to know, and I'll talk to you guys soon.